So I've been priced out of Louis Vuitton, and here's why I can't give a flying fig about it. Hello, and the warmest of welcomes to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, glad to have you here. For those who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you enjoy my videos. I put up videos roughly 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion, some slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please do head down, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrating yourself and celebrating others. So, I'm sorry if you can hear a little bit of noise. We are currently in the throes of Storm Eunice. I believe that's the name that they've attributed to this. So, my perspective, I'm kind of staying at home, buckling down, but I hope everyone is keeping safe and well, and yeah, that's all I had. Anyway, as I said at the start, I have been priced out of Louis Vuitton. With the recent price increases, I've been priced out, and I'm okay with it. I really couldn't give a flying F about it. And here's why. Do I like Louis Vuitton items? I do. I absolutely do. But you know what I feel quite a lot? I live vicariously through a lot of people. I love watching people who have these beautiful Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Hermes items. Will they ever be in my life? I don't know that they will. And I'm okay with that. So I love living vicariously through other people, but I refuse to pay over the odds for something that I'm not fully bought into. I think because a lot of the individuals that I watch their videos, and I love seeing their takes on it. So for example, Amelia's take on the price increases, I really enjoyed watching that. I've seen a few different videos, and I will link some of them down below who were talking about it. Thomas from Thomas Talks also, his video was really interesting because it looked at the men's collection. But a lot of these individuals talk about this from the perspective of people who've been buying from the brand for a long time and have therefore seen the jump by items that they bought, let's say it was in 2010, 2015, 2019. They can now see where that price point has come, and they can come at it from the perspective of someone who owns it and is it still worth it, which I've really enjoyed about those videos, is them talking through, is it still worth it to me? Now, as someone who has never really bought into the brand of Louis Vuitton, I cannot say that I am in any way upset about the fact they raised their prices. I don't find price increases upsetting anyway, and I did a big video about Chanel price increases and why they are justified, so please do go and check that out. I hope it's really interesting. I come at it from a consumer psychology perspective as well as a business aspect, rather than kind of a more emotional, how do we feel about it as a customer. But I never really bought into them, so I haven't felt the pain of that increase. And I have had brands that have increased their prices that I've been buying from. Take Kurt Geiger, for example. When I started buying a double XL flap, I think it was $249.99. They are now $319.99. So yes, I know that isn't a huge amount of money in terms of the pound note. It's still a lot of money, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to minimise that actually, it is a lot of money, but pound note wise, it's not as big as the luxury houses, but percentage wise, that's pretty significant, and I know that's been over the course of maybe a year or two, so it's not as bad as when they do them multiple times, but it is still a pretty big price hike. So something to consider, that the luxury brands are not the only ones who do it. Some of the more contemporary brands also do it because they're businesses and they still need to make money. So I'm not upset because, like I said, I wasn't very bought into the brand. Anyway, regardless, I'd never really dabbled, so I'm okay with it. Then there is a big wide world of pre-loved. I'm a big fan of buying pre-loved. You know I like pre-loved items, but there is a big wide world of pre-loved where you might not be able to get something a huge amount off retail. I think sometimes there's this perception that pre-loved means it'll be 50% off retail. That isn't always the case. But when you're spending, let's say, £2,000, even getting 10% off retail is a lot of money. That is a big chunk of money right there. So definitely think about pre-loved. I do sometimes watch, and I think the tides have turned a bit. It's become more popular to buy pre-loved. I used to watch a lot of videos where people were quite snooty about pre-loved, and I'm pleased to say a lot of them have got over themselves and realised the fact that actually you can buy something new in the box, or you could buy something in beautiful condition, or something that tells you a story, something that has little scuffs and little marks, but guess what? It's because it's been loved and it's been used and it says something about that piece. I love that. I love something to have a little bit of history, and a lot of the marks and scuffs on my items, I know where I got them from. I remember. I've spoken about my Longchamp Les Pliages backpack in the beige. Has this huge stain on the back of it because a beer got spilt on it at a rugby match. I have referenced that a few times, but it's because that story sticks with me. And actually, when I look at it, I don't feel annoyed at the fact that it's stained. I remember what a good time I had. It wasn't me who spilt it, by the way, but I remember having a wonderful time. So there's a big wide world of pre-loved, and there are some amazing stores, and it doesn't have to be online. You can also go to consignment stores, and you can have an in-store experience. And authentication is much more robust than I think maybe it was 10 years ago. There is a really, really stringent market now for very, very quality, authentic pieces. And, you know, I think why not buy into that if you can? And finally, why else am I not upset about the fact that Louis Vuitton have priced me out? And the item I was looking at from Louis Vuitton was particularly a Speedy 40. I had started to think about a Neverfull GM because I have actually been enjoying totes more. So I was starting to think about a Neverfull GM, and I think that was really it, other than the key, the 6-ring key holder, but regardless of the price, I might still go and buy that. I'm not sure. I can't decide if it's worth it to me. But those were the two kind of canvas pieces that I was bought into. I wasn't really looking at the leather. I love the leather. I think it's beautiful. And if I had the budget, a Capucines would be fabulous and I would love. But I think it's very, very expensive. But it's beautiful, so it's probably worth it. Anyway, I digress. The reason that I'm not upset at the fact that I've been priced out and not able to buy a Speedy 40 or something along those lines is because I have so many other pieces from other brands that are beautiful, that fulfill the same function. Speedy. Equivalent of a Speedy 30 from Longchamp. How beautiful. Structured, gorgeous, love. Structured because it has a organiser in it, but a Speedy would need an organiser in it as well. But I think this is gorgeous, and this was £90 when I bought it. Now, will I be upset if this suddenly became £150? Yeah, I'm sure I would. But it is what it is. And it's the brand that I'm loyal to and that I choose to buy from. So this isn't me saying I don't appreciate people's upset. I absolutely do. But there is a big wide world out there. So there we go. That's beautiful. This is beautiful. Again, similar size, 36cm bag, top handle, all of the same features. Mulberry, love. Bought pre-loved, got a great deal on it. Obsessed. Fabulous. You don't have to buy uber high-end to get show-stopping pieces, to get eye-catching things that draw not only your own heart, but also draw other people's attention. Case in point. Longchamp, Les Pliages, small, in the beautiful, beautiful Pokemon collection. This is such a stunning item. Do I use it very much? No. Is it dusty as anything? Yes, but it's because it's a fabulous little ornament that I will use. I think I will take this to a wedding or two. But it's absolutely beautiful. Or my friend's hen do. Maybe I'll take it to my friend's hen do. But I really do love it. I think it's gorgeous. I'm so happy to own it. You know I've had a bit of a troubled history with this bag in terms of my feelings towards it. But the tides have turned. I absolutely love it. It's a showstopper. Beautiful. You have bags like this from Kurt Geiger. This stunning sequin embroidered, embellished flat bag with the gorgeous hardware. This is beautiful. Absolutely stunning and practical and easy to use and a great price point. You have amazing things like this Longchamp Rousseau that just fits everything in it, and it's such a good price point. These are about £500 and they are so beautifully made. I get so many compliments on this bag. Honestly, I really do think that if people were to test brands like a Longchamp versus a Louis Vuitton, although Longchamp doesn't get the same recognition because it isn't quite the same brand in terms of, you know, the brand equity that's held, I bet you, normal person that you come into contact with, they would love this just as much. And so has it been my experience, and I love it. You know, something like this. Still designer, still luxury, uber fun. You know, I think this was, what, new in boutique, £6.50, something like that. I obviously bought it outlet, but it was something like £650. It's great, it's wonderful, so much fun. So that's why, again, I'm not upset, because there's a big wide world out there of so many brands that deserve more attention, that deserve more love. I was watching Gwenny's video last night, actually. It was her take on my tag, which was so much fun. I loved watching it. But she said that her second most popular bag brand that she has in her collection is Alexander McQueen. You don't hear that very often. You don't hear people talking about Alexander McQueen very often. But the House of Alexander McQueen do beautiful items, really, really stunning. So that's a nice one. It's nice to challenge yourself. It's nice to think about things that sit outside the norm. You know, the fact that I could buy a full leather Bayswater for the same price or less than a canvas LV Speedy, I think I'm going to keep buying my Bayswater. I think I would go for that again. Another Bayswater is on my list. I've said that a couple of times, and I think I've spotted the one. But definitely worth thinking about. Don't limit yourself too much. And that would be my thought. You know, go to Gucci, go to YSL, go to Strathbury or Mulberry or Aspinall of London, Kurt Geiger, Burberry, Stella McCartney, Alexander McQueen, Karl Lagerfeld. All of these brands that are not Chanel, Hermes or Louis Vuitton, who do frequent price increases, can be really hard to get. There is a really big wide world out there. Prada, Vivienne Westwood, Lulu Guinness. You know, so many that come onto the scene that we haven't heard much about. Pauline is another one that's quite new. Not particularly my taste, but it seems to be doing really well in terms of the popularity. Of course, we had the Senreve hype back in the day, partly supported by the fact that they were gifting a lot of Senreve bags. Does anyone really buy? Anyone who watches this who owns a Senreve bag or has a Senreve bag in their collection, did you buy it? I would love to know, because I saw a lot of gifting happening with that, and I wasn't a lover of the Senreve anyway. But, you know, there was a lot of gifting happening, and I'm really curious as to, firstly, do people still own those when they were gifted them, or did anyone actually go out and buy one off the back of having seen that? I don't know. I'd be really curious to know. But yeah, lots of different options available for you. And I guess finally, I said my last point was my final point. I lied. It's not my final point. The other reason why I am not upset to be priced out of the market of Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Hermes. I was never in the market for Chanel or Hermes, but Louis Vuitton, which if I'd reprioritised some things, I probably could have gone and bought a piece or two. The fact that I'm even able to sit here and say, if I'd reprioritised some of my nice to haves, I could have gone and bought a piece. I feel so bloody lucky that I am able to do that. Life is becoming really hard for people at the moment. Again, Amelia referenced this in her video. Life is becoming very, very hard for so many. Life has been so hard for so many. The cost of living is rising significantly just for essentials, and to be able to sit and deliberate on the next bag or SLG or shoe that I would like to buy, I feel really, really fortunate to be able to think like that, and it isn't lost on me that isn't the case for everyone. And you know, I hope that these videos come across in a way that's entertaining. I would never want my passion for fashion to ever come across as insensitive to anybody. Fashion is what I choose to put more money into. I always have. I don't travel a huge amount. I don't live in the biggest home or anything like that. A lot of stuff, when I can reduce the cost, I do try to do so. I purposely went for a 1-bed flat over a 2 because I didn't want to have to pay the extra mortgage payments. I didn't want to have to pay the extra deposit. I didn't want to have to heat another, set of rooms, another bathroom. All of that stuff plays into it. The council tax would have been more because it's a bigger square footage. All of that stuff, which therefore means that I am able to put it into this stuff. But of course, not everybody has that. And all I hope is that over the next few months, everyone holds on tight, everyone is okay, everyone keeps safe. That is all that we can hope for. And life is getting difficult, you know, and the price of luxury goods hiking, that isn't the biggest worry. You know, they are businesses, they are trying to cover their own costs, they are rising, but then so is, you know, the Tesco shop, the Aldi shop, that's going up too. The fuel price to put fuel in the car, that's going up. The cost of heating, the cost of electricity is all going up. You know, and we're not sitting here talking about how, you know, heating providers put it up and how enraged we are. So I sometimes think perspective. You know, that's not me criticising anyone who is upset about the fact that they have put up their prices, because I do think it's quite excessive and I do think it's a lot. It's a lot of money. But we have a choice whether or not we walk away with these items, and that I would never want that to seem like that's lost in my videos, like I've lost that perspective. And I certainly don't enjoy watching content where I feel like the individual has lost that perspective. There's certainly no one that I'm subscribed to that I feel has lost that. I think they're all incredibly conscious, incredibly kind-hearted and thoughtful individuals. But I have seen the odd video from time to time where I sometimes think, ooh, you're really not kind of knowing what's going on around you, are you? That kind of awareness. That's when I hit subscribe. Haven't had to do that for a very long time, but I've done it in the past. Anyway, like I said, a few reasons there as to why I'm not upset. I'm not overly bought into the brand. There are so many other pieces that I can absolutely love in my collection, or from the brands that I love to buy from. There is a big wide world of pre-loved as well, which can help you score items you either missed out on or couldn't afford at the time, or brings it into a price point that feels manageable and suitable for you. And there's of course a contextual piece about the way that life is in general, and that can't be lost. Anyway, thank you so much as always for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care everyone. Bye now. Mwah.